You don't have to discuss these. I will go through them. A couple different scenarios that have come up and we just talk about is the first one is your mentee sat through the first book but keeps getting over and wandering, or keeps getting up and wandering over to a nearby bookshelf to look at all the other books. Some different things this could be a sign of is one, they may be interested in reading other books, so they may want to switch. But they also might just be a move around person. I'm sure you could tell even just by me reading aloud, I'm walking I do have to move around to be able to concentrate and listen, and so that may be something that works for them as well. And so just trying, the more you get to know your student, the more learning their body language and assessing what their needs are in your visit. Your mentee sounds lethargic while reading a passage and aloud to you, but keeps putting their head down when you read to them. We had this in here as an example to discuss if there are days that you need to just throw what we've talked about today out the window and just have a day of, okay, it would actually just be more supportive of our relationship as a mentor to just color for the time or do what, if they just need to chit chat about their day, whatever that looks like, that is very appropriate. Like, do what feels necessary to support your student that day, and if that support isn't fully literacy focused during that visit, that is okay. I just want to emphasize that. Some of these other ones, the scenarios are more logistical. So if there is a fire drill or lockdown drill or, God forbid, an actual lockdown when you're at the school, what that looks like. Fire drill, you get to take a fire drill with the class. They do a good job of telling me in advance when that is, so I can tell you and maybe adjust the schedule that week. Every now and then, it's not communicated and you may be in a fire drill, and so sorry about that if that happens, but you get to kind of relive elementary school. For lockdowns, what it looks like is depending on where you've visited with your students, like if you're closer to the classroom, if you're close to their classroom, just go into the classroom with their teacher. They know, you'll have your name tag, they'll know that that's what's happening. If you are not close to their classroom, just any classroom or closed door is appropriate for that, and you'll see, I can highlight that in the school if that's something you want to know more about when we're actually there. That wasn't necessarily on the map, but if you're in the media center, then you're in the you're just being somewhere where school staff is present to then guide you in what to do, and so just finding the closest place that you can find for that. Your mentee asks to use the restroom, please let them. They need to take care of their bodies as well. And same with asked to go to the nurse if they're not feeling well. Mentees, the students are really excited to get to be with you, and they will not be doing any funny business to try to get out of time with you. So if they need to go to the bathroom or they need water or they need the nurse, they do need that. And I just want to take away any suspicion that you may have of, oh, they're trying to get out of an activity, which we thought may be possible before we've seen the excitement that they have to be with you. So this will be focused time, allow them to listen to their bodies. And then same with the sounds lethargic, your mentee isn't interested in reading. That is a-okay. Any other scenarios when you think about this? I know it's before you've gone into the school, and as questions arise, I hope to be available to answer those for you. But when you imagine this, is there any other scenarios that you're curious about that you'd like to discuss? Yeah, Cam.
I just have a question about the bathroom water nurse thing.
Sure.
Are we supposed to walk over with them, or is it okay to just let them?
Good question. They know where it is, so if you wanted, it depended where you're meeting, but if it's not visible to the bathroom, like you could just stand in the hall and like make sure they don't like get sidetracked. I don't think they would, again, try to take off time. The nurse, just for your information, is located in the front office, so that might be one that if they want to go to the nurse, you could walk with them to the front office, or they have little nurse passes in their classroom, so if you want to just drop them and be like, okay, if you need to go to the nurse, I'll drop you back off in your classroom and your teacher can give you the nurse pass from there. Good question. Yeah, Alexa.
I have one that's not necessarily about this, but
Yeah.
what should they call us? Like, should I be Miss Alexa, or like?
Yeah, usually just Miss or Mr. First name. If you wanted to be more casual, you could with just your first name, but like no formal greeting ahead of it. But it helps distinguish for them. They know their teachers are Mr. and Mrs., so that helps with it. Yeah, I usually, if I'm introducing someone, I'd be like, "This is Miss Alexa." Yeah. Any other questions? This isn't the only time. We're just like wrapping up. So for today, this is the question time. But any other questions as they arise, I am here to answer them. So kind of what next? This is a huge, big document, but before leaving today, I'm going to come around in a moment and grab your signed volunteer agreements if you need to spend some time and finish reading that before, no worries. First visit reminders. I apologize, I have not changed this since the first wave of mentors, but my goal is by the end of next week to have reached out to you with your mentor schedule. So the day you'll be in the school, the student you're meeting with in their classroom. That'll be through email, and in the email it'll ask you to confirm that works, just so we know we're all set. And depending on that day, that first week we'll have you guys in the school. If it works for your schedule, we can talk about that on a more individual basis, is October 9th. So that's a Monday. Going from there, whatever day you're in the school would be your first visit. Check-ins and observations. So within your first week, I'll be at the school for your first visit, so likely it'll just be verbal. How'd that feel? How are we doing? Any questions? That's just in line with best practices from Mentor Georgia. And within the first 4 weeks, it's our goal to have all of you be observed. That is a lot less to do with you as a mentor and more of me as someone who's training mentors. So that won't be by me. That'll be by our Books or Keep staff. And if you see staff around just kind of looking at you, that's what they're doing. But they will probably... Our plan as of right now is to ask for a picture with you and your student just to make sure we have all those on file for when we do the frames activities. So you'll know if someone's asking for a picture of you guys that it's observation time. I will share all of the notes they take with you. It's nothing that you don't get to see. That's just something that's happening for everyone. It's not something that occurred for just you that there's any alarm about. But yeah, so the timeline, again, this is incorrect, and I apologize for not updating that, but by next Friday, I'll have reached out to you all with your schedules, and hopefully there's no need for you to nudge me, but if you need to, let me know if you haven't heard from me by Friday, but you should. Any last questions? Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Okay, great. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for spending your Sunday afternoon. I know it's a sleepy time of the day, and Sundays are that valuable recharge time, so I'm really thankful that you guys took